Welcome the rare gems. Before you can truly love someone else, you have to first love and choose yourself. Sigma females live by this simple but powerful truth. They aren't the type to lose themselves chasing approval or depending on someone else to define their worth. Instead, they stand solid in who they are, even when the world pushes them to conform or settle. Being a Sigma female means having the courage to put yourself first, not out of selfishness, but out of self-respect. It means understanding that your peace, your values, and your growth are non-negotiable. You're not here to fit someone else's mold or to be a backup plan. You are your own priority, your own compass. Yes, you might have loved deeply, trusted fiercely, and given your heart fully, but you've also learned hard lessons. You know what it feels like to be let down, misunderstood, or taken for granted. That's why you choose yourself over any man, because you refuse to lose your power, your voice, or your peace for the sake of someone else's comfort. If you see yourself in this, know you're part of a rare and powerful group. Sigma females don't follow the crowd. They lead quietly, choosing authenticity over approval, strength over dependency, and that's a strength that can't be taught. It's born from experience, wisdom, and a deep respect for oneself. So hold your head high. Choosing yourself isn't just the right choice. It's the only choice that leads to true freedom and lasting happiness. Let's get started, the rare gems. Number 1. She's a long-term thinker in a world of short-term lovers. Here's the real deal about Sigma females. They see the relationship game way differently from most people around them. While the world rushes into quick flings, casual hookups, or let's see where this goes kind of nonsense, she's thinking 10 steps ahead. She's not here for a moment of fun or a temporary fix to fill an emotional void. No, she's a long-term thinker in a world full of short-term lovers. What does that mean? It means she doesn't just look at how someone makes her feel right now or how they fit into her life for a few weeks or months. She's asking deeper questions. Does this person have the emotional maturity to handle life's real challenges? Can they grow and evolve alongside her? Are their goals, values, and vision for the future actually aligned with hers? She's scanning far beyond the surface because she knows that anything less will only lead to frustration, heartbreak, or wasted time. In today's fast-paced culture, a lot of relationships are built on lust, ego, or convenience. Someone looks good, checks a few boxes, or makes them feel special in the moment. And that's enough for most people to jump in. But not for her. She's learned that lust fades, egos clash, and convenience is never a strong foundation. She wants something that lasts, something real, something that holds up when the excitement dies down and life throws curveballs. This mindset can make her seem hard to get or even too picky to some, but in reality, she's just protecting her energy and her future. She's already been through enough to know that settling for less isn't worth it. Instead, she's waiting for a connection that makes sense on every level, heart, mind, and soul. For Sigma females, love isn't a game of instant gratification. It's a careful, deliberate choice to build something meaningful and lasting. And in a world that celebrates the quick and easy, that makes her not just rare, but unstoppable. Number 2. Peace is her priority, not companionship. Here's something most people don't get about Sigma females. Peace isn't just a nice idea to them, it's the foundation of their entire world. In a life full of noise, drama, and constant pressure to connect or fit in, they've made a choice that surprises many. Peace comes before companionship. Think about it. So many people jump into relationships just to avoid being alone or to chase fleeting feelings of happiness. But for her, that's not enough. She's lived through moments where being around the wrong people drained her energy, brought confusion, and made her question her worth. So now, if someone's presence disrupts her calm, she doesn't waste time trying to fix it or force a connection. She walks away, without guilt, without second-guessing. Silence and solitude aren't just empty spaces to her. They're like a deep breath for the soul. When she's alone, she's recharging, reflecting, and grounding herself. That quiet is more nourishing than any hollow compliment or momentary emotional high. She's learned that true strength comes from inside, not from someone else's approval or constant noise. She's not afraid of being alone because she knows the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness feels empty and painful. Solitude feels like freedom and clarity. And she chooses freedom every single time. This doesn't mean she's cold or unloving, far from it. It means she values herself so much that she refuses to settle for emotional chaos dressed up as companionship. If a relationship brings tension, anxiety, or confusion, she knows that's not love. It's a trap. So if you want to be part of her life, understand this. She won't trade her peace for your company. She's built a life where her calm is sacred. And anyone who can't respect that simply doesn't belong in her world. Because at the end of the day, choosing peace isn't selfish, it's survival. Number 3, she doesn't need you to feel chosen. Here's a truth that flips the usual story on its head. Most people live for the moment someone chooses them. They wait for that text, that invitation, that sign they're wanted or needed. But Sigma females, they don't play that game. They don't wait around hoping to be picked because to them they already are the choice. And not by someone else, but by themselves. This means she's not chasing validation or approval to feel worthy. She's not hanging on every word or action from others to figure out if she matters. Instead, she knows her value deep down, and that self-awareness gives her an unshakable confidence. She's the one calling the shots in her life, not waiting for someone to hand her permission to be loved or respected. That's why she always chooses herself first. It's not selfishness or arrogance, it's survival. She understands that if she puts others' needs, feelings, or decisions before her own for too long, she'll lose herself in the process. So, she makes a clear choice every day. Prioritize her own growth, her peace, and her happiness, because she's already made the ultimate choice to invest in herself. This mindset makes her magnetic, but it also makes her selective. She's not desperate or needy. She's not begging to be seen or picked. If someone doesn't recognize her worth, it's their loss, not hers. Because she's not about to bend or break just to fit into someone else's world. In a culture obsessed with being chosen and validated by others, Sigma females are refreshing reminders that the most powerful choice anyone can make is to choose themselves first. When you realize you're the prize, you don't settle for scraps or waiting in line. You step into your power, and suddenly, you're the one everyone else hopes to be chosen by. Number 4. They know what it feels like to be betrayed by men they loved. Here's something that shapes Sigma females like no other experience. They know what it truly feels like to be betrayed by men they once loved. This isn't some casual disappointment or passing hurt. It's deep, soul-crushing betrayal that leaves scars where trust used to live. When you've loved someone fiercely, only to have that love thrown back in your face, it changes you. It cracks open your heart. But instead of letting it break completely, you learn to protect what's left. That kind of pain teaches a brutal lesson. Loyalty isn't something to hand out freely or blindly. After being burned one too many times, Sigma females don't give their loyalty like candy anymore. They don't just offer their trust to anyone who asks or shows up. Instead, they hold it close, like a rare gem. Loyalty becomes sacred, something earned through respect, consistency, and genuine care, not something handed over because of words or promises. They've learned to recognize the signs early, the little cracks, the hidden agendas, the subtle shifts that signal trouble ahead. Their past heartbreaks have sharpened their instincts. That experience turned them from vulnerable to vigilant and from hopeful to wise. This doesn't mean they shut people out or stop loving. They just refuse to be naive. They protect their energy and their heart fiercely because they know what it's like to be torn apart from the inside out. So if you ever wonder why Sigma females seem so cautious or guarded, remember this: their loyalty is not cheap. It's a treasure forged through pain, betrayal, and survival. And once they give it to you, it means you've truly earned a place in their world. Number 5. They'd rather be the villain than betray themselves. Here's a truth most people don't want to face. Sigma females would rather be labeled the villain than betray themselves. In a world that often expects women to be nice, agreeable, and easy to get along with, she refuses to play that role if it means losing her own sense of self. If choosing herself makes her the bad one in someone's eyes, so be it. She's lived through too many moments where she buried her own needs, silenced her voice, or swallowed her truth just to keep others comfortable. And guess what? It never worked. It didn't create peace. It created resentment, exhaustion, and a slowly fading identity. She's learned that being the nice girl isn't worth sacrificing her values, her boundaries, or her mental health. She's no longer willing to tiptoe around people's feelings just to avoid conflict. If standing up for herself means she's the villain, then she'll wear that label like armor because at least it's honest. This mindset is what makes her unstoppable. She knows that self-abandonment is the real betrayal, not to others but to herself. Choosing herself first is not selfish, it's survival. It's the foundation of her peace, her growth, and her power. Friends, partners, or anyone who expects her to compromise her core for the sake of harmony don't understand her. They want a version of her that's easy to handle, quiet when it matters, and willing to bend. But she's not that person anymore. She's fierce because she's honest, with herself and everyone else. She'd rather lose approval than lose herself. And that's a kind of strength that commands respect, even if it scares some people away. So next time you hear Sigma females being called difficult or too much, remember this. They're not villains. They're warriors fighting for their own truth in a world that tries to silence it. And that's real power. Number 6, they know when loyalty is just strategic positioning. Here's the raw truth Sigma females have learned the hard way. Not everyone who sticks around is loyal. Some men cling, not out of genuine care or respect, but because they want to stay close to something useful. They're not friends or partners, they're strategists playing a game of social climbing, and she sees right through it. While most people want to believe that loyalty is about heart and trust, Sigma females have become experts at spotting when it's just a calculated move. It's not about connection, it's about convenience. These men aren't there to support or uplift, they're there to benefit, to gain something, or to hold a position of advantage. She's no stranger to the fake smiles, the shallow words, and the empty promises that come wrapped in the guise of friendship. She knows that when loyalty is only skin deep, it's not worth her time or energy. This kind of loyalty is a mask, an attempt to manipulate or control from the shadows. And Sigma females refuse to be pawns in someone else's game. They don't fall for the act because their instincts have been sharpened by experience and heartbreak. Instead, she values authenticity above all else. Real loyalty isn't about what you can get from someone. It's about what you're willing to give, even when there's nothing in it for you. This ability to see behind the curtain keeps her safe and grounded. It means she surrounds herself only with people who are there for the right reasons, not the easiest ones. So, if you think loyalty is just about sticking around, think again. For Sigma females, loyalty is a rare and precious thing, earned, not given, and they won't let anyone use it as a stepping stone to climb their way up. Number 7. She's not scared of losing you. She's scared of losing herself. Here's a truth that flips the usual story on its head. Sigma females aren't scared of losing you. What really scares them is losing themselves. And that fear, it's powerful enough to make them walk away, even if it means walking alone. Most people think relationships are all about holding on, gripping tight so nothing slips away. But for a Sigma female, it's the opposite. She knows that holding on too tight to the wrong person often means loosening her grip on who she truly is. And that's the real loss. When being with someone means sacrificing her values, those deep, non-negotiable parts of her soul, she won't hesitate to let go. If staying means ignoring her gut, silencing her voice, or burying her truth just to keep peace or avoid conflict, she'll cut the cord without a second thought. This isn't about stubbornness or pride. It's about survival and respect for herself above all else. She understands that losing herself is a slow kind of death. It's a quiet erasure of everything that makes her unique, strong, and whole. She's lived long enough to know that some people come and go, and that's okay. The pain of losing someone pales in comparison to the pain of losing yourself. So rather than cling to relationships that weigh her down or force her to dim her light, she chooses freedom. The freedom to be fully herself, no compromises. This makes her terrifying to some but inspiring to many. She's a force that refuses to be tamed, shaped, or broken. Her loyalty starts and ends with herself because she knows that's the only way she can ever truly show up for anyone else. So if you want to keep her, don't ask her to lose herself. Stand with her, not against her, because the moment she loses herself, she's already gone. Number 8. She can love you and still leave you. Sigma females get something many don't. Love alone isn't a free pass to stay. They can feel deeply, care fiercely, and still choose to walk away if respect, honesty, or true compatibility aren't there. Love isn't some magic glue that fixes everything. She's seen how love without respect becomes a trap, how love without honesty turns into confusion, and how love without real connection just drains the soul. She knows that staying in a relationship just because she loves someone is a recipe for losing herself. What makes her different is that she can hold love and boundaries at the same time. She can care about you, maybe even cherish memories and moments shared, but still recognize when it's time to let go. Walking away doesn't mean her heart has hardened or that she stopped loving you. It means she respects herself enough to refuse a life that doesn't honor her needs or values. It means she understands the difference between love that builds and love that destroys. This ability to love without clinging is what makes her unstoppable. It's hard to watch someone leave when you love them, but harder still to stay where you're not truly seen or respected. She chooses herself in those moments, even if her heart still holds space for you. And when she leaves, she never looks back. Because she knows that real love, the kind worth keeping, never asks her to sacrifice who she is. It asks for truth, respect, and a shared path forward. So yes, she can love you and still leave you, and that's not a contradiction. It's strength, wisdom, and self-respect wrapped into one unstoppable woman. Number 9. She'll break her own heart before letting you break her soul. This is where Sigma females show their true grit. If it ever comes down to choosing between protecting her emotional integrity and holding on to your love, she won't hesitate for a second. She'll choose the heartbreak that cleanses and heals over the kind of attachment that slowly poisons from within. Most people fear heartbreak because it hurts, but she sees it differently. To her, heartbreak is a necessary cut, a painful but vital part of growth. It's a choice to break away from what harms her core, rather than stay chained to something that erodes her spirit. She values her soul's well-being more than the comfort of a relationship that compromises her essence. She knows that love isn't supposed to feel like a cage or a slow poison. It should lift her, not weigh her down. So when love threatens to break her soul, she's ready to shatter her heart first. Because heartbreak, as painful as it is, leaves room for healing, self-discovery, and ultimately, freedom. But brokenness of the soul, that's a damage she refuses to endure. This is why Sigma females are rare, because they have the courage to choose themselves even when it hurts. They know that choosing their emotional integrity isn't selfish, it's survival. In the end, she understands something few do. Sometimes the hardest goodbye is the one that saves you. And she's willing to say it again and again if it means protecting the light inside her. Number 10. They spot identity leeching instantly. Sigma females have a radar for one of the most exhausting and invisible drains on their energy, identity leeching. This happens when someone starts copying them, not because they genuinely admire who they are, but because they're insecure and desperate to boost their own shaky sense of self. It's subtle at first, the mimicry of style, opinions, or even mannerisms, but Sigma females see right through it. They sense when the reflection isn't real admiration, but a desperate attempt to borrow confidence or personality. It's like someone trying to wear their skin instead of living in their own. And they don't tolerate it. Why? Because identity leeching isn't flattery. It's theft. It drains the unique energy and power that took years to build. It reduces them to someone else's copycat. And that's a line Sigma females won't let anyone cross. This awareness isn't about arrogance. It's about survival and self-respect. When someone mirrors them out of insecurity, it creates a toxic dynamic, one that feeds off their authenticity while offering nothing genuine in return. Sigma females guard their identity fiercely. They know their individuality is their greatest asset. Letting someone siphon off that energy isn't just annoying, it's dangerous. It can blur boundaries and leave them feeling depleted. So when they spot identity leeching, they pull back or cut ties. They refuse to play the role of a muse for someone else's insecurity. They surround themselves with people who celebrate their uniqueness, not steal it. In a world full of followers, Sigma females are leaders of their own story, and they protect that story with a vigilance few understand but everyone should respect. Number 11. She's not impressed by power, she embodies it. Here's something most people don't get about Sigma females. They aren't impressed by power, they embody it. While the world rushes to chase titles, flashy money, or loud influence, she quietly holds a different kind of strength, one that doesn't need to shout or prove itself. Status and wealth? Those are often just masks, ways people hide their insecurities or try to buy respect they don't actually have. She's seen it all before, how the richest or most powerful can still feel empty inside. And that emptiness? It's obvious to her. No fancy car or big name can cover up a hollow soul. So instead of being distracted by surface-level glamour, she's searching for something real, alignment. She wants to connect with someone whose values, ambitions, and way of living actually match hers. Because what's the point of being with someone who looks good on paper but doesn't get the depth of who she is? Her power isn't about dominating or controlling, it's about self-mastery. She knows herself so well that external markers don't shake her. That calm confidence, that quiet command over her own life, is what truly makes her powerful. People with true power don't need to brag or prove anything, and she knows that. She respects authenticity, depth, and integrity far more than anything flashy or loud. If you try to impress her with ego or superficial status, you'll see right through it, and she'll check out fast. In a world obsessed with looking the part, Sigma females are the ones who live the part. Their power is steady, unshakable, and completely their own. And that's a rare kind of strength most people only dream of having. Finally, choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. Sigma females don't follow the crowd or settle for easy answers. They've learned that the most important relationship they will ever have is the one with themselves. In a world that constantly tells women to bend, to sacrifice, to put others first, they stand firm, choosing their own truth over convenience, their own peace over approval. This isn't about arrogance or coldness. It's about clarity and courage. Sigma females know their worth without needing validation from anyone else. They've faced betrayal, disappointment, and the messy realities of relationships, and each time they chose themselves, not out of bitterness, but out of wisdom. To be a Sigma female means embracing independence on a whole new level. It means trusting your instincts, honoring your values, and refusing to lose yourself in the name of love or loyalty. It means understanding that no relationship should cost your soul. If you recognize these truths in yourself, you're part of a rare breed. You're a woman who doesn't just survive, she thrives by carving her own path, and that path demands respect, strength, and relentless self-love. So when life tests you, when people doubt you, or when love asks too much, remember this: choosing yourself first is the boldest, most powerful move you can make. It sets the foundation for every other success and every deeper connection to come. Keep choosing yourself, not because you're perfect, but because you're worth it. Because the woman who picks herself over anyone else, she's unstoppable. And that's the real power of being a Sigma female. Thank you for watching The Rare Gems, and God bless you.